Good afternoon, everybody. It has been a nice while since I've been up here. I think it was the last video was on last Sunday, but I am here. And one thing about my platform is that I know I have one friend to say, is it every Thursday? And I would love to do it every Thursday, honestly, because that's the cadence I would like to keep it on. But life happens. And so sometimes these videos come up whenever I can, morning or night. Um, but the one thing about having a virtual platform is that once they are recorded, you can view it anywhere, anytime, any place that you want to. And so I am here tonight and I have already cleared my space. I am ready to dive in. This is actually a part two to a video that I did in January. And if you have not seen that video, please go to my YouTube channel, Healing in the Veins. And if you are having problems finding it, inbox me. I will send you the link. But this is actually a part two to a video um, that I did in January with the same title. And I will start off by saying that I hope that everyone took in, if you did watch the video, I hope that you took the video in and have learned to let go of some things. You've had about a month now to let go of some things. It takes 21 days to start a new habit. So within those past 21 days, and it's actually probably a little more now because we're in the middle of February, I'm hoping that you've learned to let go of a few things and have actually let go of a few things. And so because last time we talked, we just to give a brief synopsis of the last thing that I talked about is the fact that whatever you're asking God for, he's not gonna, he wanted to mirror what is the plan that he's already put inside of you, right? He doesn't want you to just, oh, I'm just going to up and do this, and it goes completely against the plans that God created for your life. It's not going to work. It's going to fail every single time. And so my next point after that was to talk about this year. So in the Chinese New Year, this is the calendar year of the rabbit. And I find it interesting because if you know what the rabbit represents and what it does, you will understand how purposeful this year can be for so many people. So, and I'm just going to read you my note. So, 2023 in the Chinese calendar for the year of the rabbit, it's time to hop out of the snares that has been set for you and jump to higher grounds so that you set your sight on things above and not below or what's around you. And I say that because you know a lot of people say, oh well, that's just, that's the Chinese New Year and they do this and they don't believe what I believe and they do what I do, they don't do what I do, and and that's fine and dandy. But I thought it was I begin to rejoice that it's the year of the rabbit, honestly, because if you think about, I'm thinking about Peter Rabbit. We all know the story how he got caught by the farmer, but then he escaped unscathed, right? So how many times have we gone through so many traps and snares that the enemy has set up against us, and we were able to escape and leap out of some things, unscathed, right? And we can rejoice about that thing. And in fact, in the church that I grew up in, the preacher would say, if you didn't have joy, we got to leap for joy. Jump until you get happy. jump out of that stupor. You got to jump out of depression. You got to jump out of the sadness. You got to jump out of your situation. And if this is the year of the rabbit, we know that rabbits, that's all they do. That's how they move around, is that they're, well, we call it hopping, but hopping is another form and another word for jumping. So jump out of that thing, jump out of those situations, jump into something new. And again, since we're talking about leaving it in the past, jump out of your past and jump into your future. See, the person that you are right now is in that right now position, right? So the only way that you can get to your future is if you actually start jumping towards your future. What is it in your future that you want to do? What is it that you have in your plans that matches the plan that God has set up for you, right? Uh, what is it in those plans that gets you excited, that motivates you to get out of bed, that motivates you to keep going even when you have naysayers, even when you talk down to yourself and say, oh, I don't know. But you say, you know what? I'm just going to do it anyway. That's a leap, right? Um, Prime example, I remember when there was one time I wanted to be an American Idol singer, right? And I said, I don't know, like it's a lot of good singers, and I don't know if I should do it. But one year I did, and for some of my close friends, I don't know if you all remember, but I auditioned in Atlanta, Georgia one year. I went to Atlanta, I auditioned. Obviously, I didn't get cast, but I can take back with me that experience because now I know what to look forward to for things like that. I'll know how to prepare myself better. And I've since then have gotten more mature in my vocals to understand that the song choice that I wanted to sing, it wasn't a bad choice, but I needed to sing it in my vocal range. I was trying to match how the singer sang it. No. And American Idol wants you to bring you to that song, right? And that's the thing about leaping out of your past. When you leap out of your past and then you leaping towards your future, you have to bring you to the table. You can't bring nobody else. You can't bring your bestie who wants to do who wants to own a crocheting business if you want to be I don't know, a florist. Y'all have two separate things. Now y'all can collaborate on some things, but for that main thing, that main uh inspiration of yours, you have to go to those meetings alone. And you have to tell those people, this is my business plan, this is my vision, excuse me, and these are my plans of actions that I want to do to get this off the ground. And it's going to work in your favor. But you have to let go of those things that's in the past that's holding you back. What are those words that people said to you that will have you to not progress, right? You have to jump out of it. And jumping out of it isn't just a physical thing, right? Because we can jump up and still our mindset can still be the same, right? We have to leap with our minds. We have to leap with our spirits. And when you're fully aligned, okay, I literally got this vision. So as we're talking about mind, body, and spirit, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, and they all move as one. Your mind can't be here and your spirit and body is over here. Nor can your body be over here and your spirit and your mind is over here, because it's gonna something, what they say, those tall tales, I believe is how you say it. There, those signs are going to show. It was like, oh yeah, she was moving, but we could tell she wasn't there. She didn't have a smile, or the preacher preached a good word, but we know that he wasn't fully there. His mind was elsewhere, right? We have those signs and things that let us know when we are completely aligned and we are completely there. Like the teachers say, if you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap two times. Or as some teachers say, if I can see you, you can see me. And I need to see your eyes. If I can't see your eyes, then that means you're not paying attention to me. Because the teacher knows that once you are looking directly at them, your ears are also going to be looking at them. And then that next thing, that movement that comes after the instruction is going to align with what has been asked of you to do. So that's why we have to get into the habit of doing those same exact things when it comes to our destiny and what we are put on this earth to do. Um, okay, I'm gonna go to my next point. So my next point says people would overlook you as if you were in the game of hidden objects, only to come back to you and see who you really are. By then, it could be a missed opportunity. But know that your glow up from letting them go provided the fuel to let you grow up. You are much wiser now, stronger, and yes, maybe a little bit trendier. It was always there, but people couldn't see it because their own personal blinders treated the raw materials as if it was worthless. Now that you are refined, the price of your value has gone up publicly. And I know that hit somebody to their core because I can remember, I don't know how many times I've met so many people that say, you know, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do that, but people would not give me the chance. People didn't give me the opportunity. So I left. So I quit. But now I'm in a space now where I'm doing those things. And now people are seeking me out and I'm being highly sought after. Whereas before I was being pushed to the side. That's fine. The same thing happened with King David. And he was one of the Bible's, one of history's most famous kings. The same thing happened to, Joseph and his brothers. They called him the dreamer. What good is a dreamer to us? And we saw how his brothers treated him, lied, and told their father that he had died, and really they had sold this man into slavery, not only realizing that by you pushing him aside and trying to get him out of the way, that you pushed him towards his destiny. But that's what people do to us. They push us towards our destiny because a denial is not a no. A denial is a reroute. And when we get rerouted somewhere, we start to meet people, as they say, along the way that will help us get to where we're supposed to go. And when we get to where we're supposed to go, now some people may stay, those that help us along the way, and then some people may fall off. That is okay. The main point is they did what they were supposed to do, help you get along the way. And when you get there and people say, oh, wow, I remember that person. Oh, wow, we used to work together. Oh, wow, we went to school together. Now people can see your value. Now they're going to remember all the things that you went through, all the memories that you had, all the things that you wanted to do, and they missed out on the opportunity to get to say, oh, I not only knew this person, but I'm a friend to this person. I supported this person when they were in the trenches trying to become. And I think that's a testament to not only what you've become based off of God's plans, but what you've become based off of you jumping out of things that don't belong to you, jumping out of the snares and traps, jumping off out of the weights that are holding you down and jumping into your destiny. I am working with a doctor right now, and we had a meeting a few weeks ago, last month, and we asked each other to talk about a not an unusual fact, but a fact about yourself that nobody really knows. And he says, I used to, I went to high school and was in the same class as Lady Gaga. And we said, really? Now I know it's just like, okay, I don't know how their relationship was, but just imagine you saying, oh, I'm a doctor and I love what I do, but now I have a classmate that I didn't connect with who is blown up, who has the opportunity of saying, hey, we are still friends, and I see that you're doing good work. How about I'm gonna help fund your project for you? And you don't even have to tell people about it, because I bring in enough money that can last for a good while. I will be good, but I know that you're changing the lives of people in their physical body. So I want to help fund some of your projects. Let me know when you need funding. You see how these connections work? That's why you do not discredit people and disconnect people based off of personal bias, based off of clicks and things. And I think that has been my overall problem with clicks, is because people discredit people not fully understanding who a person was and how valuable they are. And I used to tell people, people used to tell me, Brian, you can hang out with anybody. You have so many different types of friends, and I would have never. I I don't know. And I don't say I make friendship with a lot of people for advantages, because I don't know what people are going to do. I am genuinely friendly to people. And when you are friendly to people, they never forget that. And even no matter how many years apart that y'all, never connect or reconnect, how often, or how the saying goes, if you went your separate roads and life took you to different places. But when you see each other again, it's like the prodigal son all over again. Oh my gosh, where have you been? Let me embrace you. Let's catch up. What have you been doing these past years since we separated? Oh, where you're doing that? Let me bless you. Let me pour into you. Let me, and it could be on either end. You could point to that person, and that person can pour into you. But either way, it's that connection, that reunion is meaningful, because you both genuinely know how each other are. You both genuinely, I mean, things, your temperaments and things like that could change, yeah. But the fact is, that person will always remember how kind you were to them, how you helped them with certain situations. And that's what I like to give to people. Sometimes, yes, things can be misunderstood, but if you know how to communicate, um, you know how to communicate properly, and you go back and say, hey, I know we had this rocky start, but let's talk about this thing. They're even going to remember that, because you never want to leave a relationship, no matter how the dynamics of the relationship. You never want to leave a relationship in turmoil, where you can't come back and have those discussions. You never want to do that. And that's why I have a problem when people say, oh, well, I'm never talking to this person again, and da 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 da. No, 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 no. That's not how it works, because you don't know if you're going to need that person again. You don't know if that person is going to see your name on the list and be the deciding factor whether or not you make it to that next step. And I know TV likes to exasperate those things, but those things are true. I know in my field, there are so many people, we constantly run into each other, and it's like, what's going to happen? I met a young lady that goes to East Carolina University. I'm in Durham, North Carolina, and she telling me about her plans of coming to North Carolina Central University for her master's in social work. And I pray that she not only does that, but she does what she says she wants to do, because she wants to go back to her home country of Africa and do medical research. And I pray that she that all of those things aligns with God's plans, and that she not only does it, but she succeeds. And we were going to exchange information, but she said something and it sparked joy in me. She said, "You know what? I'm not going to take your information down right now." She said, "Because I am sure and I am hopeful that our paths will cross again and we can reflect on this conversation." And I looked at that young lady in amazement, because I said, not only is that faith speaking, because what she did was not, she did not just speak over her future, but she spoke over my future. That we're going to be in a place where when our paths cross, we can reflect back on 2023 when we met at a restaurant in Durham, North Carolina. And I guarantee that we will not be probably in North Carolina whenever our paths cross again. We might be at a World Health Organization conference in another country. And we're going to look across the room. You're here. What have you been doing all these years? Or I saw a paper that you wrote, and I wrote my thesis off of that. You know, we never know how things are going to work out. And so we always have to make sure we stay connected, that we put our best foot forward, you know. And I mean, I'm not saying that we should be perfect, because no man is perfect, but if you have the opportunity to correct the wrong, correct it, because you never want to disrupt uh uh as a friend of mine say, a bridge, you know, that could be for you, that could end up being your saving grace. So my next point, um and I know we're talking about letting things go, but even with that, you know, you have to let go of old conversations and come back and apologize to each other, even if you're not in the wrong. I definitely learned that, because I had a serious problem. I didn't do nothing wrong. They attacked me, and you want me to apologize to them? It's like, hold on. So and it goes along with, to the point of, you people genuinely feel certain things, and you can't determine how someone feels about a situation, but you can determine your actions on how you try to fix it or not fix it. And if they then don't try to correct what they did, you at least did your part. And if God sees fit, God will say, okay, well, you did this, and now I'm gonna open up another door, especially if this person was supposed to be in a door. Because I believe sometimes when we disrupt our own destinies, God will reassign people to us and to other people. Because if you're not in place, God's gonna not all the time hold up someone else's destiny because of you. God's just gonna simply send them to someone else. However, comma, that same situation that that person was in, until you get your life together, you may be the next person in line, saving grace, to take them to where they need to go. So that's another reason why we have to let things go, because until we get it right, we may not be in the position to probably help someone get to the next level. Okay, now I'm being instructed to read this. So at the beginning of this video, right before I cut on the camera, I said, God, what is the word for the people that you want me to say? What is a one? Give me one word. And God said autonomy. And I said autonomy. Okay. And so I'm going to read you to what autonomy means. Autonomy is the right or condition of self government, a self governing country or region, freedom from external control or influence, independence. So that means that when you have autonomy, you control your actions, you control how you speak, you control how you move in a situation. And when you have complete autonomy, you have the freedom from external control or influence. That means whatever was irritating you and caused you to have a bad attitude for the last 5 years of your life, when you let that thing go, your attitude adjusts and changes. And that's just an example. So whatever your thing is that's been holding you back, the minute you go, that means that your character changes. Who you are, I don't want to say genetic DNA code, but I'm really seeing like your genetic makeup changes according to what you let go. And it's just like a poison. When something is poisonous in your system, it taints you, and you act and you move and you feel a certain type of way. But when you extract that poison out of your system, you act, you move, and you sound differently. You sound better. How many people have you seen living with cancer that gets healed from cancer? I mean, completely healed. And you watch how their skin color changes, their weight picks back up. Sometimes they become, they get better in health, and they keep it up, right? Hair texture changes, sometimes eyes and can become jaundice looking, and now they're not jaundice looking, they're back to being white and crystal clear, and other things that happen. And it's because once that cancer has been removed, that person can now act the way they're supposed to act. They can be what they're supposed to be, a healthier version of themselves. And when you have complete autonomy, that means that you have a complete healthier system, complete healthier being to present to the world, so that whatever you decide to do, whatever is in the plans of God for you to do, that you do them without disruption and interruption. You do them with things that are not tainting you and holding you back. So again, we're going to go. I told you I'm loving this Chinese New Year. So again, that means you can leap to higher heights because you're not allowing this snare, this trap, this poison to keep you down. Which leads me to my next point. This this year is the year of cutting off access to people who drain you. The minute you cut off access, you will realize how much attention and energy you were freely giving away to people and things that were not pouring back into you. So if you notice that every time you try to rest, you just like, "Ooh, I have nothing else to do. I can rest tonight," and then your phone rings, and you pick up the phone, and you're just like, "Ooh, I love you, but I just don't have time right now because you were drained." Like, I love them, they mean well, but this person just is draining. No, this year is the year you have to cut it. You have to cut people off. You have to say, you know what? Thank you for calling me, but I'm resting right now. I need to take this time for myself. We have to give people boundaries. Years ago, I let go of my boundaries, and a lot of things kept happening. And I said, I never used to be this person. Like, what's going on? Found out I had let go of my boundaries. The minute I start putting up my boundaries, I realized that I felt better. I got more rest. I had more energy. I could stay focused on a lot more things. And I said, oh, I'm going to keep this boundary up. I've learned to say no to a lot of things. And I used to be, oh, yeah, I could do this or I could do that. Mm-mm-mm. Nope, not now. Because I realized that if I have dreams, goals, and aspirations, and I know that they're aligned with what God has in store for me, sidebar, because people come up to me and share things that I have not shared with anybody, and they say, "Oh, I see this," or "I'm hearing the Spirit say this about you." That's how I know. But and if I'm supposed to get there, I can't get there if I'm constantly being distracted and pulled away and constantly being drained of my energy to even focus on the things that God would have me to focus on. We have to tell people no. We have to put up those boundaries and say, you can contact me from this time and this time. If you can't contact me this time, then let's pick another date. Yep. I'm sorry. And let me say this. I see everyone's comments. I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you. I'm not. I'm just being focused right now. But yes, like, but whenever you cut people off, you can see so much of that difference of how much time and energy that you've wasted on other people. And just like in my last video or the part one, I talked about getting a financial counselor. A financial counselor would tell you to keep a financial diary to let you, or a ledger, however you want to say it, so you can know where your money is going. I guarantee if you did the same thing with your time, you will see how much time is spent pouring into other people compared to how much time you're investing in yourself, how much time that you are taking to take care of yourself. And when you do that, you will see, like, wow, out of a whole week, out of, I believe it's 70, no, that's not 7. Hold on. Let me do some math real quick. Out of 168 hours, I only spent roughly 30 hours on myself. That's a problem. Out of 168 hours, you can only say that you spent 30 for yourself. And I guarantee that those 30 was the time that you were asleep, which means how productive were you on the things that you need to get done for yourself, for your future, for your destiny. We have to stop allowing people and things that serve as distractions to constantly drain us of our energy. So now we get to my last point. I promise you, every time, it's something about this part one and this part two. I feel the spirit so heavily. Even when I listen to myself, because I had to re-listen to myself so I can make sure I picked up where in the right spot. The spirit is sitting on me so heavily right now. Like, I know that this is for a lot of people. This is the year of letting go so that you can do more. Because what's that thing? And I will never forget, in 2006, I went to a Mary J. Blige concert, and she was talking about that very thing. I forgot the name of the song. It was, I know it's like baggage, but she was talking about, I have this baggage with me. don't want to go, don't want to leave. And it's like basically I don't want to go towards you because of the baggage that I'm having, that I'm holding on to, and I don't want to put you through it. So I'm just going to go with my baggage. And she was like, "No, you have to let the baggage go." And she had those box. And I know you've all seen the 2023 or the last few years they showed the woman walking up the stairs and each stair is bigger. Well, she literally had physical blocks. And what she said is, when you're in a relationship and you take on this pain with you and you bring it to the next relationship, and because you took that pain, you not only got that pain, but then that pain caused you to have other problems in your next relationship. So she put that box inside of that one, and she picked that up and she said, now you have all of this pain with you because this relationship has ended, and now you go to your next relationship and you have all this baggage. And so she put it down in the bigger box, and she said, and now you have all of this, and now you're trying to get in your next relationship, but this baggage is so heavy that you can't even move it, that you can't even move. So now what do? You now have no choice but to turn inwardly and start letting things go so that you can freely go to this person that is designed for you, that is destined for you. And she said, and I know I write a lot of, songs about it. But she said, in all my years, I had to learn that I had to let things go to receive, because you can't receive nothing if your hands is full. If your hands are still holding on to the past and you're not letting it go, you can't receive nothing else. Your plate is full, as they say. So clear your plate so you can get new stuff, so you can get fresh stuff, so that you don't even have to and to worry about the old stuff. Because again, we letting it go in the past. So my last point, the pains of tomorrow should not block your future. The things of the past do not define your future. The thing that you are passionate about, don't let it die. You will have a fresh wind to start anew. This time, it will bring great fortune, and you may even end up with a new partner that helps bring you happiness in every area of your life. Trust the directions you get from God. You can continue your way, or for the first time, let God really guide you. Keep working on your craft. You start by working small and watch it grow. You can work while you plan and get inspired for the new. Take the pain of the reality and turn it into motivation. What you see now is temporary. So, whatever state of mind that you're in right now, whatever thing that you're doing right now, whatever that thing that is holding you back or that you constantly think about, it's only temporary, because when you use it as fertilizer, when you let it go and you use it as fertilizer, that thing helps you to grow mentally, physically, spiritually. And as the first line says, it will not block your future, because you're using the thing that once pained you to push you forward. If you need to put this in your mind and you say, I'm going to use all this pain that I had, I'm going to use all these naysayers, and I'm going to pretend like they're a scary monster and I'm the little kid and I'm running from this monster to something new. Now, God didn't give us the spirit of fear, but if you need to use that example to say, I got to run away, I got to get away from these things that continue to come into my life, use that metaphor to come out of some things. Not everything is a demonic spiritual warfare. There are some spiritual warfares that we hold ourselves hostage to. because we refuse to address it, because we refuse to look at it and see what it was. It's almost as if you knew you cut your hand when you was trying to slice that cheese and make a nice, healthy grilled cheese sandwich, right? And so you take that block of cheese and you accidentally cut your finger and you say, "Oh, I don't want to look at the blood." And the whole entire time your finger is steady bleeding, but you're not applying pressure to it. You're not trying to address it. You're not trying to address the wound and make sure it can heal properly. You just, I don't want to face it. I don't want to face it. I'm just gonna look around. I don't want to. Nope. And it's hurting. And somebody say, "How you doing?" "Hey, what's wrong with you?" "I cut my finger." "You cut your finger? Well, did you put something on it? Did you put a band-aid on it? Did you wrap it up? How deep is it?" "I don't know. I just know it hurt." "Are you gonna do anything about it?" "No, because I'm afraid to look at it." "Well, why are you afraid to look at it? It's your finger. It's your blood. It's something that you went through. You can't ignore it because obviously it's causing you pain. Obviously, you can't move forward because you're going to get blood everywhere. So I need you to address the situation. I need you to apply the pressure so that you don't lose a lot of blood until you faint and pass out. And then we got to come get you to take you on an ambulance somewhere. Now you're creating a bigger situation than that cut on your finger, only because you don't want to address the wound. You don't want to look at the wound. You don't want to recognize that you have been wounded. You want to just ignore it. And you can't. The only way you can get out of some situations that's holding you back in the past is you have to face it. You have to look at it. You have to call that thing what it is. You have to clean up the mess, however you need to clean up the mess. You need to take care of yourself. You need to nurture yourself. You need to love on yourself. You need to nurture the situation, because if multiple people were involved, you need to love on them too, however that love looks. And as soon as you correct the situation, the next thing you know is, "Oh, my finger's healed. I stopped bleeding. It's not hurting anymore." Now you can look up and you recognize, "Oh, wow, I've been missing all of this because I was too busy trying to look up and avoid my finger, that I didn't look down and see what was around me, what's in my present." And now that I can take care of the things that's in my present is now going to take me to my future. And I wish y'all could see my desk space right now, because you will see that I have a few loose papers, just a few. And it's like, if had that situation been real, right? And I'm looking up, I couldn't clean the paper space because there's documents here. There's things that need to be filed away. But the minute I address the wound, I can now properly take these files and put them away. And then I can now get my planner out and focus on the things that need to be done on this planner and start working on those things and start checking off the things that's on my list that's in my planner. Only because I stopped focusing on that wound. And although that wound happened 10 minutes ago, it's in the past. But because I addressed it and I healed it, I can let it go and go forward. So we have to let these things go that's in the past, that's holding us up, that's weighing us down, that's making us continue to look back. And I know a lot of people know about Lot's wife, and the minute she turned to a pillar of salt because she looked back, because she didn't want to let those things go in the past. We have to sometimes stop giving grace to things that hurt us. I don't know where that came from. We can show grace to the people because that's a part of forgiveness. But giving grace to the situation, no. Devil, I know I was attacked 2 years ago, but you're not going to keep me in my mind where every time I get out of my car, I'm thinking somebody's going to attack me. No, I refuse to live in fear. I'm going to continue. I'm going to pick up my life because that situation had me bound for 3 years. I'm no longer going to let this situation keep me bound. I'm going to let it go and I'm going to move forward. And not only am I going to move forward, I have the new mindset because I know that God it has ministering angels around me that protects me everywhere I go. So now that I have reminded myself of this thing, I'm going to get out my car with no fear ever again. And that's how we have to set boundaries for situations that hold us back. That's how we encourage ourselves to continue to move forward. So I'm going to end here because I'm literally running out of words. But I do hope that you all share the video, you all like the video, you all even talk about it. I have a classmate, Nikki. I don't know if you're still here, but talking with your coworkers, continue those talks because oh, absolutely. Yes. But that's where we are in this year. We're in the business of cutting things off that no longer serve us. And we're in the year of protecting us. And I remember, I think a few Sundays ago, I was talking about how 2023 is the year of me. And oh, see, I'm here. I've seen that word confirmation from several people. And what happened was immediately after I did my message, my cousin called me and said, "Yo, cuz, I just saw your message." He said that was my topic for this Sunday. 2023 is the year of me. And I started laughing. I said, "See?" And it's not so much as a selfish thing, but it's a God's plan thing. We can no longer hold up the plans that God has for us because of things in the past. So whereas I'm telling you all to let things go, to do the things of God, it's also a year of deliverance. If you really look at it, it's a year of deliverance and set free so that the rhema from heaven can shine and fall down on you so that you can do the work of God. Whew. I'm telling y'all, I get excited about this thing of letting go. I get excited. But thank you all for joining. Again, talk about it. And I'm glad this was confirming for a lot of people because confirmation always lets us know that we're where in the vein. That's another reason why I got this healing in the vein, because when you in that vein, when you in that, like the nurse say, we got a vein, we're in there. That means that what needs to happen is supposed to happen the way it was designed to happen. Think about that. But you all have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. And I look forward to speaking with you all soon and seeing you all soon. You have a good night.